what's your All right, I'm back. That's okay. Oops. Cupcake is putting away groceries. Interesting. Pretty good. They're still dealing with a bit of the stomach bug, but um, doing pretty good. Of course, well, I'm gonna wait until Cupcake gets here, but there was, of course, drama with the whole, um, reading of my grandma's will shit, which I'm glad I wasn't there for, you know, but um, also writing a one shot that I'll wait till Cupcake gets here, so we have something to talk about. Oh, thank you, Sirius. Siri. So I have an Apple Watch, so occasionally with a certain wrist gesture, it will bring up Siri and your phone or your watch. And like earlier, I made a comment to myself about hockey, and then I was like, "Here's some NHL games." I'm like, "No, I was not asking about hockey games." All right. Oh, sometimes people just get on my nerves. Hmm. Well, I do. Hmm. Obstacles. Of course, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm hard of hearing. 2 minutes into the phone call, I'm like, I understand if you're hard of hearing. And I know you shouldn't have to lead with that, but my way of speaking is very evident. I talk fast. So tell me to slow the fuck down. Yes. I am perfectly willing to slow down my way of speaking, my rate of speech, if you just tell me you're hard of hearing. Anyways. I just love this group. Uh, yeah, they were like in an SH4 channel. Mish woke up today and chose violence. I'm like, hi, greetings. I'm here and I'm causing chaos. Talk about different Call of Duty characters playing hockey, and then because there are several of the us them that simp over different characters. And if someone was, well, Koenig wanting to be the goalie, but he's too big. And I'm like, well, and then like talking about like the refs, like having sometimes like grabbing them by like the jersey or whatever to like pull them off during a fight. I was like, well, in terms of being too big to be the goalie, make Koenig the ref. Because if you're talking about a bunch of military guys who are playing hockey as a hobby, you're going to need someone who has the muscle mass and capability of wrenching them off of each other. And that just kind of like they were like, I think I shorted out their brains because they were thinking because most of us are like our height Kiki, like 5'3", between like 5 foot tall and like 5'4". So the thought of someone who can pick me up and not safe for work toss me around like a sack of potatoes. So that's one of the little like not safe for work notes I made in my brain that just kind of popped up and it was like, hey, finger guns. I just love it because I've told them multiple times like if guys, gals, and non-binary pals, I make mental notes. It's not just the server owner who makes notes. I make notes. So I actually started writing something that I was intending to write for someone else. Lots of fun. And then that's where I was at when you were like, "Hey, can we re-record this?" Because did I write down? No, I was gonna write that down. I'm so. Mm. I was like, did I notate something at work? I should probably notate that. Yes. Now I need to bring up this templates. It's up here. I forgot. It goes alphabetically. Email is up here. I was like scrolling down going, no, wait a minute. I'm looking for the email template thing. And that's up top by the E's because this is in alphabetical order. Silly me. What's the rollback? Ditch the rollback? What? It's a cupcake.
Ah, sorry. Whew. It should be me.
Yes.
Hang on.
He has appeared. A wild cupcake has appeared for
the light. Never mind. Nuclear powered backlighting.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, you know why? Here, hang on. I know what the problem is. Do this. That. And then if I go pop out, you guys come over here. Full screen. Peaks. And let's go.
I need to pull up something because
Switch.
thank you for calling.
There. Here in the darkness, I feel safest of all. Holy crap on a cracker. No, just you. When you messaged me, I was unloading groceries from the car to the garage to the house. So it's like I got like $300 worth of groceries, so I have like quite a bit of I stocked up on a whole bunch of stuff. I've got fresh fruit, I've got frozen vegetables, I've got meat for making dinner. I'm gonna make haluski tonight, but then I'm gone the next couple nights because it's my weekend to work. And for whatever reason, this shirt fits again. It didn't fit before, and now, after like a week and a half of constant battering, I seem to fit back into this shirt again. It may also be the fact that I have severely cut down on my sodium intake. I'm eating way less fast food. I mean, okay, I am eating fast food, but not like burgers and fries. I'm doing like turkey sandwiches and stuff. I'm leaning hard on the Jimmy John's for my quick lunches. Okay, let's move you there. Close you out. That one out.
Rar.
Rar indeed. Rar indeed. What is? Hats in snow? Oh, cats in snow. Cats in snow.
I thought you were saying pants in snow. I was like, what?
I was hearing hats, like HATS. I'm like, hats in snow are cute? Okay, Kiki, I'm not questioning it. I'm backing away slowly.
Oh my gosh, I know it's. Okay, so I can tell Kiki I was waiting for Cupcake because this is tea.
Oh no, what happened now?
So, as you guys know, my grandma passed away, and this past weekend, Friday and Saturday were the wake, and then the Catholic mass funeral.
Right.
So after we were done on Saturday with the mass, and then the cemetery, and then the luncheon at the funeral home.
Right.
My Uncle Joe, who was the executor of the will, went back to my grandma's house with all 5 of her daughters to read the will to say what's going on.
Right.
So my one aunt, who is one of the ones who is most like my grandma, to be honest, her way or the highway, very stubborn, etc., etc.
Right.
Who has dementia, also, or Alzheimer's, one of the two. Yeah. So she, because of some falling outs between my grandma and this aunt and my aunt's daughter, my aunt and her daughter are being treated per the will as though they predeceased my grandmother. So they are not. Yeah. They're not in the will. Now, my aunt's son, she has 2 kids, so her other kid, her son, is in the will. Okay. And then my aunt's grandchildren have something for them. Like there's some stuff in there for her grandchildren through her granddaughter, right? But those 2, nothing. So my mom, I told my mom, I was like, Aunt so-and-so, she was going, whether or not she had dementia or understood it, as soon as she heard she was out of the will, she was going to throw a hissy fit, which is what happened. Now, add in the dementia, as she's been suffering from the past few years, and she doesn't understand what's going on. So I don't know this happened because all the cousins, most of the cousins who were there, we went out to a local tavern and had some drinks, on her grandma, had a shot. Here's your grandma, and just catch up and stuff. Cause most of my cousins live out of state.
Right.
Like Florida, Arizona, California, So, so Sunday, I had just literally gotten out of the shower. And I'm not dressed. I'm just about to start combing through my hair to get the, snaggles out of it. And then my mom calls and I'm like, okay, hello, is Jeff there? Oh, let me see if hubby's home. I'm like, so hubby said afterwards, he's like, as soon as you came down the stairs with no clothes on, talking to your mom, I knew something was going on. I'm like, well, yes, if you were there. So apparently, they were, my aunt and her husband were all up in arms. And granted, my uncle was going based off of what he heard from my aunt. She didn't understand everything, right? And so my uncle, who was the executor of the will, was printing off a copy of the will and going to take it out there. So my mom was afraid that, well, they've got property up there and they've got guys, something's going to happen to your uncle. And blah. I'm like, so we can kind of okay, well, here's some things you can do to suggest if you want to make sure he doesn't get hurt, meet at a separate place, like at a McDonald's or something. Okay, those are good ideas. I'm like, okay. So, and I guess my uncle was like, no, my uncle is 6'5", and my other uncle is my height, which is between 5'5" and 5'7". He's not tall dude. But my uncle was the executor of the will, was like, dude, no, I'll be fine. So he explained to my other uncle was like, look, this is what happened. Here's the will. And my uncle was like, oh, okay, I understand now. So it didn't turn out all fisticuffs, but it was I was like, yeah, this aunt was going to cause shenanigans, whether or not she had the mental capacity to fully understand what was going on. And I'm saying that in the nicest way possible. Because I'm like, yeah, she doesn't have the mental capacity to understand it. She just heard she was out of the will, her mind focused on that, and she threw a fit.
Right.
So yeah, that was the that. I was like, hey. Yeah. And my one aunt who has the cancer basically all around her lymph nodes.
Yeah.
Looks like that formed over. Like, and it's just, because my one cousin was like, Aunt so-and-so looks really, really rough. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, because we're like, how do you address the elephant in the room of she's, and then however long it's going to take, she's, it's not looking good. Like,
Right.
Anyways, so that was that.
Sure.
Yes, they are. Well, I mean, granted, like, now that most of us are adults, it's like, yeah, I actually got a couple of my cousins who I didn't have their phone number. I got their phone number. So, like, hopefully it'll be like, we're going to stay in touch instead of, like, we're only meeting for weddings and funerals. Like, or the occasional, like, Christmas where they're in town or whatever. But, with the set of cousins in Florida, their parents live in Arizona, so they're gonna, if they're going to visit family, it's Arizona, so it's, and grandma's gone now, so like unless they're coming up for something specific, they're not gonna come up to Ohio, like.
Oh yeah, I don't even want to think about like how my family's gonna shatter when grandma's gone, because with grandpa gone, like family, like the holidays aren't being done together anymore. Yeah. Like it just ends up going whoever's the next oldest living relative kind of thing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if your grandparents are gone, then like your parents take over. Generally, will end up taking, or somebody's parents will end up taking over.
Well, due to family drama on the other side of the family,
right?
That's why my family started doing Christmas Eves by itself. I used to go over to the other grandparents' house.
I'm totally fine with holidays just being like, figure it out yourself. Great, I'm gonna order a pizza. Nobody bother me. I'm going to watch cartoons. Unrelated.
Yes.
Speaking of cartoons, I got the new release of Sailor Moon R today.
Ooh.
Fucking Walmart had it. I was like, what? Walmart? Well, okay. Yeah. Well, because it's just like they're just like single DVD cases, so like they just had it with all the other anime. I was like, okay, cool. I'm all right with this. Right. Well, they've been doing that. I mean, Sailor Moon's been around a long time. It's got wide appeal. It's well known. So it's in the same family, I'm guessing, as like Naruto and Dragon Ball, One Piece. Like I don't think they actually do One Piece. I think it's when I looked, it was like a couple new releases and then like Dragon Ball. I think Demon Slayer. I don't remember what else. I just was walking by and I was like, hey, look at that, Sailor Moon R. I'm like, yoink. Because of course these new cheaper releases, got the superior transfer, which is hilarious to me. After we spent, or I should say, I spent all that money on those special editions for the original Blu-ray run, and then they're like, oh yeah, now we did it again, but better. Now they're only like $30. Fuck you. Right. Oh, tell me about it. I have all the manga. Hang on. That's as far as I got. I got the flap keeping my place. I'm like, I think I got to the part. I got to the part where she meets Ami for the first time. They're all like, the other girls in her class are like, oh, that's the Ice Queen, Ami. Oh. They're all like, like, and then she's got like the little thought bubble in her head of like her being really mean or whatever. And then Luna like walks by and she picks Luna up. She's like, oh, a kitty. And it's like, oh, you're totally normal. Oh yeah, I mean she's got an IQ of 300, but you know what I'm saying? Like she's listening to the girls talk. Yeah, she's listening to the girls talk about how she's so mean because she's above all the common people as a super smart, genius, blah blah blah. And like she's standing in the hallway looking at her, and she's like, "How am I going to talk to her? She'll eat me alive." Blah blah blah. And like Luna just like walks over, and she picks it up, and she's like, "Kitty," and she's just like, "Oh, you're totally normal. What? Okay, hi, that's Luna." That's just like that's so adorable. All of her all of their interactions with Luna are adorable. Like the first time she meets Luna, the first time Usagi meets Luna, she's just like Kitty. Yeah, not like I am your mentor. I am here to teach you how to be a warrior of justice. Also, the the lady they got to do like the OG dub in the '90s versus the lady who does her in the modern dub is like they're light years apart in how they're portraying her general tonality. It's like I always describe it as like stuffy governess teacher kind of in the original, and then like in the new one she's like grouchy older sister. It's like I thought I already taught you how to do this. I'm scared, okay? God damn, just take your tiara off and throw it at him. What? Take your tiara off and throw it at him. I can do that. You can do a lot of things. Just do it already. Okay. Float kills them. Wait, what?
Tiara
That's
killing what? That's where I
that's
came in.
that's
I was
that's
like,
pretty.
fuck.
I'm talking about like the first time that Usagi and Sailor Moon Sailor Moon goes out to fight. It's like the jewelry store episode.
Oh,
And
that one.
she's like, what do I do? And she's like, take your tiara off and throw it at her. And she's like, what? I can do that? You can do a lot of things. Now just do it already. Okay. She throws it. The thing just explodes. She's like, what? What? She's like, see? And then talks about it. I was like, my work here is done. Whoosh, out the door. Wait, who was that? I don't know, but he was handsome. Seriously, that's how it goes. I'm not even joking. His MO is like, he's like, you can do it, Sailor Moon. She's like, what? And she like, blows up the villain, and then she's like, I did it. He's like, my work here is done. Out the window. Like, wait, what?
uh,
Yeah. And and I, and I quote like the third or fourth, um, like page when she's like after school when she's walking home, and she just sees him and she's like, what kind of asshole walks around in broad daylight in a tuxedo?
apparently him.
I haven't run into it yet, but I'm terrified of when I am. I'm guessing probably Deathbusters and like Dark Circus. Yeah, because that's it's the end of Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, where it's like he's like close your eyes. She's like why? He's like close your eyes, and then you just see the one guy just like what the hell just happened? He looked in the face of God. Why did he melt? God's pretty hot. I mean, like, there's no good way to show somebody being obliterated by, like forces. Because I mean, Dragon Ball does the same thing. Like when they overwhelm a villain with a power blast, they're just like the giant blast of light. There's like Wah! And there's poof gone. Yeah, I don't know. I think I've read I've had volumes 1 through 6. I think it's 1 through 6 for like a year or two, and I've read like volume 1. And I think I stopped because like I'm gonna get the rest because I don't want to get stuck and then be like I need to order more, but I don't have time. Because I feel like the manga is the manga moves way faster. Holy shit, the manga moves fast. Because like chapter 1 is like the first 5 episodes of the anime, and then chapter 2 is her meeting Ami. And I'm guessing chapter 3 is gonna be like I feel like I think I talked to you about this. Like by the end of the first volume, which is I think the first like what is it, like 6 or 7 chapters, it's like the main crew is together except for I think Sailor Venus. Right. I feel like there's that. It's because it's the same thing that happens in the anime to some extent. Where they're like, "It's the Moon Princess," and she's like, "Yes, I'm the Moon Princess." And they're like, "Wait, you're not the Moon Princess. Who's the Moon Princess?" He's talking in the background, like, "Oh fuck, it's me, isn't it?" Well, I mean, she's not the brightest. Like, she pretty much embodies means well, but is dumb as a sack of hammers. And I mean, let's be dead honest. You don't have to be that smart when one of you is a super genius, the other one has Amazonian strength. One of them can basically create fire and is partially psychic. Um, and then just whatever the fuck Venus wants to do, because let's be dead honest, her gamut of powers is all over the place. Right.
Okay,
Because
I'm back.
I know I know from like watching the progression of like what their special attack is. Like shit gets pretty real by about the second or third revitalization of their powers. Like I mean like what is it like? I I used to know it, but the kaleidoscope stick where basically Sailor Moon has a heart rocket launcher.
Nice.
She does the where like the clip in the original anime is her like basically powering up, going low, pointing it at the enemy, and a giant heart just going "fuck you," boom.
So,
Or maybe
so
I'm thinking of the other one.
So to kind of go back a little bit, because I was also thinking of Raiders of the Lost Ark Cupcake,
Yeah,
the melting thing.
yeah.
So it reminds me of part of a uh Big Bang episode
Oh yeah,
where, of course, Sheldon and the guys are like big nerds and they love like
right.
Indiana Jones, etc. So Sheldon was talking to Amy and he's like, "I dare you to, you know, drop my job about something about that I don't know about Raiders of the Lost Ark," right? And she goes, the plot would be the same if Indiana Jones was not in it.
Yeah.
He's like, but don't you understand? Like, he's the one on the front. She's like, no. Everything that happens in the movie would happen if he wasn't there. The Nazis would still get their hands on the Ark. They would still take it to that island, and they would still all die. And his jaw drops because it would still happen.
Well, I mean, to some extent, it's for all intents and purposes, the Last Crusade would be exactly the same too.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, not
except
quite, but like.
Yeah, except that his dad wouldn't be, shot to make Indy go and figure things out.
Right.
So they would still be doing whatever.
They still would have got in there, and theoretically they still would have beat the puzzles, and the guy still would have picked the wrong Grail and been turned to dust and blown away.
Yeah.
They just somebody else would have had their shit ruined, let's say.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on the fact that they're making a fifth one.
I know. I'm like, can we just? I know, cash grab. Oh.
They've talked about all the different people they would get to take up the mantle from Harrison Ford, and like companies or the movie studios are just too chicken to try. They originally put forward Shia LaBeouf, and then he basically everybody just shit on him because he's not a good person. And right, what I honestly thought they should do is get Chris Pratt.
Yes.
I know.
I'm just like, he's not.
I mean, who would you guys get to play Indiana Jones? I don't even know.
I don't know. I mean, Chris Pratt right now is like the best option because he's done the whole like swashbuckling type character already like twice in like two separate universes in 3 separate films or more. So he's got the Jurassic Park films where he's like Mr. Hero and swashbuckler, and then he's got Guardians of the Galaxy. Same thing, just in space. So like you can kind of argue that Star-Lord is Indiana Jones in space.
Right.
on the first blush, like obviously it's more to it than that, but like okay. Manage my notes. Alright, so I'm going to go on break. Baxter is lucky, as you hear in the background. He gets to have the front door open.
Oh, what a rough life he has.
Oh yeah. Like I think I shared that yesterday? No. I shared another. Jesus fucking Christ. Like seriously? I am typing in the right shit. Thank you. I shared a picture of him like, sprawled on the bed all comfortable. He's like, don't let him fool you. He's telling you to get him a tomahawk steak smothered in gravy and cheese.
Right.
Because reasons. So, alright, so 1 second. Let me get into here. I'm switching to mobile.
Okay.
Alright. Here I is. Oh, I know, sausage. All right. Well, did someone walk up to your door again today? I know it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. I know you did a good job. Yes, you're a cute as button. See, does it pass the sniffy test? Does it? Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah, Baxter has to sniff inspect, make sure
Right.
everything a-okay. All right. Okay, so there's this Apple News from a CNN headline.
Yeah.
It says tough on drugs, not on rape. Inside the US Coast Guard's lax handling of maritime sexual assault. I'm like, no, let's blanket that over the military and call it
Right.
that. It's not just the Coast Guard. All right. Oh, oh boy. I know sausage. Ah. Oh, I'm trying to decide if I want to get I'm probably gonna get the new Anne Bishop book, but as it finally came out, but then I saw that there are 2 other books coming out from a couple of my other favorite authors that it's like, oh, they're coming out later this year. I'm like, oh, I have to wait.
Pat on our server sent me a audiobook of something that he really loved for my birthday, and I started listening to it, and it just the guy reading it is kind of I don't want to say monotone, but very like there's not a lot of like animation, but like it. I'm only like I don't know 10, 15 minutes in, and it just seems amazing.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't really know what's going on yet because I'm only like past the introduction, but like human colonists came to a planet that isn't like really like a great planet to colonize by mistake, but they didn't have any field to go anywhere else, and so like the survivors are just kind of like eking out an existence on this hellhole.
Nice. Upstairs I have a bookshelf. I keep books I don't read very often.
Right.
Um, Thank you, Baxter. I know this is the time when the kids go home from school. I know it's very distressing.
Come here.
It's very distressing. And so the basic premise, I have to reread some of it because like I got to a point, but then their next book hadn't come out yet, and then I kind of lost interest and forgot about it.
Right.
So they have like a generation ship kind of thing where people are putting cryostasis, and there's like a set. Oh, those are your cousins. Those are other weenies. I know you're so ferocious. Oh yes, you are.
Okay, you scared them off. Good job. They're going past your house anyways. And then so it's basically like, it's like the usual kind of like spaceship, but then there's like a portion of it that looks like outside, quote unquote.
Right.
And one of the main characters, like her parents, were going. So they were packing stuff, but they didn't. You find out later that they didn't think she would go with them, so they didn't pack any of her stuff. So she accidentally wakes up, right? And she's not supposed to wake up yet. So she finds this like whole like, because there's workers and stuff that help take care of the ship,
right,
and make sure everything's running smoothly, et cetera, et cetera. So they're like several generations in, and apparently you find out that the guy in charge, the people in charge,
right,
have been teaching, like there's a different version of the Gettysburg Address that they learn, and they arrived at their destination like several generations back, but they keep pretending like, oh, we hit a speed bump, or it's going to take an extra X amount of years. They've been orbiting this planet for a while, but they realized that wasn't necessarily the best planet. And so by the end of the last book I had read, there was like part of that, and there was like somebody who was like waking up people or killing people in the cryopods. And I know they's walking. They's walking past your house, I know. So they had to figure that out. And so by the end of it, there was one group who they were like, we understand. The ship is all you know. You don't want to go out and face whatever's out there. And then there was another group that was actually going to go down to the planet and start the process of, that was the original mission. So
right.
I don't, like I said, it's been a while since I read it, and I don't know how it ends, but maybe one of these days I'll actually get to it.
Well, okay.
Yeah. As a snack, I decided to get black cherry ice cream. There's actual chunks of cherry in it.
Right.
Ah, itchy, scratchy.
Right.
Ah. Hmm. Ah. Ah. Anyways, mm, I have to remember I still have to wear my headset because
Right.
I have a tiny clip in my hair that the readjusting, and I'm like, I can't put it on top of my head right now because that's where the headset has to go.
Well, I hope Keeks is alright. Damn.
Yeah, I hope so too. All right. I'll walk back in here for a half second. I have Teams on my phone, and I saw
Yep.
my team lead respond to a question with another question, and I'm like, all right, let me go in here really quick and tell her what I was talking about, so that hopefully when I get back, let's see if this brings up. All right. And bring this back to the front. All right, 6 after. Yeah, it's funny because I'll be on break and he'll start barking, and I'm like, "Who are you barking at?" And it'll be like a kid walking back from school, like a backpack. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, they're just walking home. Are you barking at kids again? Like young teen, like preteens.
Right.
Oh no, not yet. Well, we're like 5-minute drive literally down the street from a middle school.
Right.
And we have several elementary schools within like a 2 to 3, 4 block radius.
Right.
Or again, within like a 5-minute drive of our house. So.
Right. But it's nice for you to say that your community is healthy and that there's still all these schools. They haven't had to close the schools because everybody's reproducing.
Yeah.
That's what's happening here. It's all like older folks who are retired, so they've had to close the schools because there's no kids.
Yeah. Wow. Let me see this. Oh, oh.
Oh, she's finally back. Oh shit.
It's okay.
You live! I have to hire better ninjas next time.
Yes. Hey, look.
They've done their
The
job.
kid is gone.
Oh yeah? Well, that's good. Right. Not that we've just been sitting here.
How much it is?
That's alright. I'll be dead soon. Millennials are a really weird generation. They all lived to like 40, then they were just gone. You doubt you'll make it to 40? It's not that far away, motherfucker! Oh no! 2 years? You're not gonna make it 2 years? I think you're full of shit. Me making it 4 is much more realistically impossible.
I have no comment.
I don't think it's gonna be pleasant for anybody.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, welcome to us in Minnesota. Yeah, but we treat people like they're people. I mean, we have our issues, but like that's more the police than the government, and most definitely the Minneapolis police. Yeah, out here it's not so bad. Our police departments were like the ones out east of the cities were pissed when Minneapolis, you know, had like their multitude of civil rights violations ending on George Floyd. I mean, it didn't end there, but that was like the big one where everyone turned and looked at them and went, "Well, time for an overhaul." They went, "But what?" Yeah, in Duluth. Yeah,
So I'm not surprised. Although I have to think for a second because, all right, I think the one. So there's the main mall we go to when we go to the mall is a two-story mall and it's got skylights. And I'm like, how has it that not caved into just snow yet or ice? And I'm like, I think they're curved. So that might be the reason why.
just going to shit. Uh oh. Because they didn't connect it to the mall.
That kind of.
Right. Like, I mean, if you're going to have an anchor store, like, why would you. Cupcake?
Yeah, that's kind of what happened to
Yeah.
the childhood mall for me. Like, I mean, it had the usual like corners, like the anchor stuff, like Macy's and J.C. Penney, but slowly because the city isn't one of the more isn't one of the richer ones technically,
Right.
so it just starts sliding downhill. Now it's the shops at insert city name here, and it's like no, it's still it did really say because it's like city name and then town. So like so like it would be like Cleveland Town, but not Cleveland, but the city name.
Right.
And it's like yeah, it was like and then walk and then also I'm sorry.
I said Shelbyville. Nobody goes to Shelbyville anymore.
um and then that's also kind of what happened to the mall I went to one of the malls I went to um because there were two malls I went to in college. One is like right down the street from where my brick and mortar building was for work. That's in like that's like right by the highway. So not only is there enough traffic, there's enough traffic from like the other stores right by the highway that people go there, right? But this other one, again, low income area, and like so we would go there for college, right? Because cheap. And then we went to like after hubby and I were married, we went to his law school mentor's wedding. And after the ceremony, we were like, because there's the break in between like the ceremony and then the reception.
Right.
And so we're like, oh, let's go to so and so mall. And we're walking through and we're like, oh my god, this is like a ghost town in here. Like there's maybe like a handful of stores open and that all of that might like plus the food court, like if we're lucky. So yeah. And then because when back when we're in college, there was a Borders by the mall, like sort of like it was like right around the corner or whatever.
Right.
But because Borders closed, Books A Million came in and took over that standalone building.
Fun. Me,
Yeah.
every time my family's like, let's go to the Mall of America, I'm like, for what? There's a rare whiskey shop that I used to go to, but I don't drink enough anymore for it to be worthwhile to spend like big buku bucks on rare and exotic alcohol.
Yeah.
And like I don't buy my clothing from like those kind of like the kind of stores that would be in a mall because I am also Chunky Monkey Deluxe. The clothing they're selling is for people who are handsome, beautiful, whatever, like don't weigh 200 plus pounds.
The Western American style, like for people who are not the what is advertised as the pinnacle of American beauty standards. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a hunchback, disfigured cripple, so it's, you know.
Simmer, quasi.
What's up?
Simmer, Quasimodo.
I was going with Belden, the second acolyte of Elder, God of Magic, who is a horrifyingly angry hunchback with a foul mouth and an even worse temper. He's also the second most powerful magician / sorcerer on the planet. And everybody's like, why do you put up with him? He's got a good heart. He's got a foul mouth! He called you a cow! Maybe I am a cow. But he means well.
Yeah.
My favorite interactions between Belgarath, the sorcerer's daughter, Polgara, and Belden, who raised her. And like the children in the book, in the first book, being like, why do you take that from him? Oh, he raised me. That little foul-mouthed hunchback raised you? Well, father was always too busy to actually be a parent, so Belden took over. That little asshole raised you? Yes, he did. Why is he calling you a fat cow? Yeah, it's just his way of showing love. His way of showing love is calling you names? Well, I called him names back, didn't I? You're right, you did. I guess it works.
Oh. Just got reminded of what I was kind of writing when when Kiki made the call.
Oh, okay.
It's smut again, unsurprisingly.
Okay.
But it's kind of like a semi-commission thing where what time is it? Do I have to? Yes, I do. Where we're taking a character from the 141st of Call of Duty and putting an Eldritch twist on him.
Right.
And going, let's make some suggestions and see what gets the best reaction. Because I'm like, I have a couple ideas. And they're like, oh, what are you thinking of? I was like, Hellhound, maybe with some tentacles, or something like Cthulhu. And Cthulhu got the slightly better reaction because it was just an emoji. So I was like, okay.
Which character is getting this treatment? Do I want to know? Is it
Koenig.
Obvious? Who is?
Koenig.
Oh.
The big, tall, fucking Austrian.
Oh.
we have an excuse to have the mask on to begin with.
Right.
It's because his face has some obviously not human stuff in it.
Right.
So, because I was like, well, I'm getting tentacle like Cthulhu vibes, but I'm also thinking I want to do something different. But then I'm like, why is it?
All I can think of is that scene from the last Call of Duty where everybody kept making fun of the fact, or I think it's Soap was making fun of the fact that Ghost never takes his mask off. He's like, motherfucker must be ugly, just figured. And then they have that scene before the final mission where he finally takes his mask off and he's just like, he has the Soap's look on his face. He's just, oh, he's a handsome fuck. What the shit?
And it's like that. There is a bonny lad. The fuck.
Fucking Captain Price. Good to see you again.
It's like it's like Simon. Good to see you. Because
Right.
I'm like, guess that's one of my little headcanons is that Price is up until that point. Price is the only one who's seen him with the mask off. So he knows when the mask is off. We're talking to Simon. We're not talking to Ghost.
Right.
So 2.5 shakes. Be right back.
And she's gone. And she's back. Coming off break.
Yeah, coming off break. Oh. Okay. All right. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm running. I'm like, I kind of was like, I want tentacles to be involved somehow. So I might write something else, but who knows? I confirm the address. Nope. Okay. Okay, that's an auto response, so we can get rid of that one. So yeah.
Indeed. Excelsior.
Curses! Oh, yes, because I found on Amazon Prime Video last night, I found again the He-Man movie.
The live action one?
Yes, with Donald Lundgren as He-Man. It's like, is this the one? Yes, this is the one that I remember watching. Hold on.
So, Cupcake, how are you dropping that weight?
Huh?
I call them raisins.
Ah. Right back.
I feel like a psycho, right? It's the only way I can stave off the glycemic, whatever you want to call it, the hunger pains of my body going, hey, there's insulin you need to use. Eat something. I'm like, what? But I already ate some more. I'm like, all right, raisins it is, motherfucker. It's fiber and fucking sugar. There you go. I really haven't had that much, though. I've had 2 cookies, a cup of coffee, and a fucking turkey sandwich. So I probably could. I probably should just fucking nuke a bag of vegetables. Yeah. I ate my sandwich on the way home, but I'm still like, still kind of peckish. I'm having basically buttered noodles and vegetables for dinner, so
I'm back.
maybe I'll have something. I don't know.
All right.
Fruit? I did buy a bunch of fruit. I could have an orange or an apple, but I have to go get a knife, which would require me to go upstairs, which I don't feel like doing.
Very nice.
Oh, okay. I was gonna be like, you mean you played The Last of Us? They made a fucking TV show.
Yes, they did. Yes, with Pedro Pascal.
That's why I've never heard of it, because it's on HBO.
Yeah, with Pedro Pascal, and then the one girl who who was on Game of Thrones as little Miss Badass.
With John Everyman. You mean Pedro Pascal? Yes.
Yeah, Internet Daddy.
All that man had to do was play a Mandalorian. Everything else just fucking fell into place. I mean, okay, he was. What's up?
Yes.
I mean, okay, he was he was that one prince in. Yes. He's the guy who ends up getting his head crushed by the mountain. He was in Buffy? Like. Oh, okay. He had to have been really young. Buffy was like 15 years ago, wasn't it? I think Buffy was the late 90s, wasn't it?
I think so. Kiki is Googling.
Started in 1997. When did it end? You found him? Let's see. Ah, he's a kid. He's a goddamn kid. Yeah. Good God. He was Edward on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Oh my good. How old? He can't be that old.
Look at that little baby. Aww. Yeah. Little baby. Yeah, his vampire face is like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. There, I remember Spike's vampire face the most from Buffy.
What's really sad is if they had done the Dragon Ball Z movie right, he would have been a great Piccolo. I mean, nobody's ever going to beat. I mean, let's be dead honest. Chris Sabat's take, and then you have was it Kaiser Neko in Abridged? I forget who did his voice. I think it was Kaiser Neko, because Kaiser Neko does like Piccolo, Vegeta. Hey Piccolo, I have a question. What's that? Goku, are you a Yoshi? Can I ride you? Yes, I'm a green fuck dinosaur. And that's all I remember from episode 1, but it stuck with me for all these years. Yes, I'm a green dinosaur. And Gohan be like, I thought you guys were some kind of slug. Quiet.
I totally got reminded of a conversation I was having earlier on another server. So we were talking about someone mentioned Alucard from Castlevania, and I was like, I know who you're talking about, but when I hear Alucard, I think Helsing. and then I was like, and then I have to remember that Crispin Freeman is not just Alucard from Helsing; he's also Winston from Overwatch, and that dichotomy. I was like two completely different characters. It's just like the fuck. Like I understand He's a voice actor. He's good and he does his job well. It was just like, whew, whoa.
Oh, you're talking about like vocal range?
Yeah, like the vocal range to go from crazy ass vampire to big blue moon monkey.
Right.
Like, so
Um.
oh
Yeah.
man.
My favorite one of all time is listening to the guys from Futurama and because for like the first, I don't know, 6 or 7 seasons, every episode had the cast commentary. And Billy West, who is himself a legitimately amazing voice actor, going, and Frank Welker as a flock of seagulls. The guy who he voices Nibbler on that show. But like the man has been doing voice, like, to put it in perspective, like his most well-known old school voice is being Freddy on fucking Scooby Doo. Like, the man can do anything. Like he's like they were trying to find a sound effect for a flock of geese or whatever. And he's like Frank walks into Frank listens to them waiting to do his time in the booth and like looks at the sound director and goes, you need the sound of a flock of geese. And the guy's like, yeah, we can't find a good sound effect. He's like, I can do that. Walks into the booth and makes the noise of 1,000 geese flying north for the summer. And everybody just stood there stupefied that this one man just like coughed up the sound effect they were looking for from his vocal cords.
All right. Need to bring this back up. Yeah, I was kind of what streaming service is Willow on? Okay, because I was actually kind of looking forward to watching that. That was one of the ones that I'm like, I know that was on my like mental list of like, oh, I'm gonna watch this at some point.
Well, you'll only have to worry about one season
Yep.
because there's not going to be continued. Well, there you go. You're the reason why they canceled it because you were waiting to binge it. There wasn't enough viewership. So now it's canceled because you didn't watch it like you should have. You failed us. You failed us. There were not enough viewers because you were all going to wait to binge it and now it's gone. You failed. Number one, fuck you. Number two, fuck you. Don't talk to me about not having enough time. Don't you dare bring up not having enough time. Time is the one thing I don't have. Everything else is fine. Yeah, nobody cares. I'll go cry in my money.
You go right ahead. Go right ahead, sweet pie.
My 2022 manager bonus hit yesterday. I was just like, hey, look at that. I'm going to pay off some debts. Which I was shocked we hit all our metrics again last year. I was like, damn, muscle tough.
All right. And I'm like, I'm getting like several pings. Yes. Here, I knew that was gonna happen if I posted that meme. So I posted a meme about, it says telepathic aliens enjoy that humans will quote unquote play music for hours at a time. When it's too mentally quiet on deck, they just announce the catchiest song titles they know, and the humans will start thinking about it automatically. The humans hate this so much. And then the following exchange. Zorf, human Steve, can you please play that song I like, the one with all the females? Steve, what? Zorf, a little bit of Monica in my life. Steve, motherfucker. So I posted that knowing full well that someone might get stuck in their head. Someone replied, got this talk stuck in my head now. I'm screaming alongside that. I was like, you're welcome. Oh. All right. Info request. What else? You being gremlin cackly today. It's all good. All good.
Right.
Yeah. What news, Sad? Oh, all
Right.
news. I mean, valid.
Well, that's cool.
Very nice. Yeah, if I ever do get pregnant again, I'm not going to tell anyone about the gender or the sex, at least, because I'm like, I don't necessarily want a bunch of pink fucking clothes or blue fucking clothes. I would like my children to actually have a color palette.
Right.
They're like, please bring my child like blues and reds and greens and yellows and whites and purples and come on.
Sorry, I'm checking something because I got a message.
That's okay.
That's for work. Sorry, I have to. But
That's
I had
okay.
to because I had to reset my browser. I have to re-verify my identity that I'm not a intruder. Right. Right.
So some people's reactions to some of the stuff that USGA does is hilarious.
Right.
You guys suck. Wet blanket USGA doesn't like distance. I'm like, well, at least he's not lacing it with profanities.
Right.
So this one I'm going to put in the folder for that because they mention it. Can I get another one? All right. Oh yeah, I kind of heard through the grapevine. Um, kind of Facebook grapevine because I'm friends with a couple of people on there who I worked with, right? So
Right.
someone shared a memory of like their first day back at my job at the position they really liked, but they were put on the phones and they didn't want to go on the phones, and it was kind of like, and they pointed out like due to my mental and physical health, like this, I cannot be on the phones for long. And it was one of those where, yeah, over the next 18 months, um, there was like, they might still be on the phones. And so they were like, nope, I'm peacing out. And then another coworker was like, oh yeah, they closed one of the buildings. I'm like, all the buildings. I'm like, even the city? And you're like, yeah, I guess there's not enough people going in to the office for them to justify paying rent on the building. I was like, oh, and I guess like at least one person quit because of that because they either didn't or couldn't have the ability to work from home. So they basically were like, yeah, if I can't work in the office, I'm leaving. I'm like, damn. I was like, well, they probably knew that was going to happen with some folks, but I was kind of explaining to this to someone. But like the last time I went into the office before it was merged, um, was there were literally 4 people in the building and one person was the janitor. One of those 4 people in the office besides me was the janitor. So it was like I can kind of see why, like, I can kind of understand a little bit why they were like, yeah, if we have like at most every single day like this huge building and there's only like 10 to 15 people in it or less, like, eh. So yes, it
Yup.
is
Also, apparently tomorrow the new Shazam comes out.
interesting.
Yeah, I was watching Good Mythical Morning, and they had one of the ladies on, who's the Marvel kids or whatever, and it was like, "Yep, tomorrow." I'm like, "Oh shit, it's coming out in March." Like, okay. I guess it is a Warner Brothers title, so they're just like, "All right, dump everything. We got to start fresh."
Send a new package. Yeah. I mean, I might. Do we know if the second Avatar movie is still in theaters?
No clue.
Because I'm like, that's one that I might want to see in theaters.
I mean, you have had plenty of time to catch it. Like,
I know. That's why I'm like, might, because I'm like, I don't know if I feel like,
no, I gotcha.
going out to see it. And it's one of those, yeah, because it's one of those, it's not like it was for Dune where I was like, I need to see that on the big screen.
Well, yeah, no,
I was like, this is one of those where it's like, if I see it on the big screen, okay. If I don't, it'll be fine. Like,
right.
I'll be able to pause it and stuff.
I mean, that's always my problem. Is like, I love the theaters, but there's been like literally nothing in the last probably since COVID that I've been like, I need to see that in the theaters. I'm like, I'll wait till it's available to stream, and then some night we'll all sit around and watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't feel like anything was lost. Like we just watched the Lego Movie last weekend. Like nothing was lost. Catching it, sitting at my desk with all of you. Like, okay. I don't know. I guess I don't feel any like love lost for the theaters just because it costs so much money at this point, and like
Yeah.
not I'm not I don't there's nothing the movie theaters are doing that like I'm missing out by waiting to be able to watch it in my own home.
Yeah.
They're like, but the splendor and the blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care.
The splendor and the experience, yeah. But if I wait to stream it at home, I can pause it and go take a piss.
Well, my problem is like the people that go to the movies are just always god awful dipshits. Like it's Blood Fist, the Fisted Egg, and somebody's got their kids with them because they can't find a babysitter. I'm like, I'm out. I'm out. And the guy on the phone going, yeah, he's going into the room now. That's right. Go. I'll tell you what happens next. Like, get the fuck off your phone. Or invite, go pay for the ticket whoever you're talking to and bring them with you next time. You should watch whatever is next on your pile. Oh wait, you don't have one of those. Stares at the pile, the now pile of individual discs with a pile of brown boxes that aren't even fucking open. Cupcake, why aren't you watching things? I'm too busy with my chores on my days off.
All
Feel
right.
that. Um, Apparently you did not, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I've also, like, I guess I've signed up for, like, the email alerts, stuff like that, for, like, different job openings. But I've also
Right.
gotten, like, direct emails, and it's like, "Oh, I think this would be great for you," and then it's, like, a civil engineering position, and I'm like, "You obviously are just looking for keywords in my resume, because
Right.
I am not a civil engineer. I was a student assistant at the civil engineering department when I was in college, and it hit civil engineering and popped me up for you." Like,
Right.
so I'm like, that's how I know I'm like, I'm not gonna take this seriously, because if you actually read through my resume, you would have known that don't send this to me, because I am not the person you're looking for. Force wave. I am not the applicant you're looking for.
You know what?
You know.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, when those pop up, I apply to them just for shits and giggles. I mean, lately I haven't even been looking because I'm not going to find anything that pays as well as my current job while also being 5 minutes from my house.
True. I
Although
mean, I
it's looking
remember.
more and more like they're going to get rid of management at our company, so I might be looking for a new job. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. Although I remember at the Ice Fest, we were walking back to the car, and I saw in the candy apple store company, whatever,
Yeah.
it's like now hiring sign, and there was like a few signs like that around the square. And I looked at hubby. I was like, I would have walked right in there and said, "Hi, I would like to apply." If we were not going to Singapore in a month and a half. Hell yeah. I was like, because I'm not going to go to a new company and then be like, "Oh yeah, in a month I need like 2 weeks off or a week and a half off." Like, so I'm like, that's not fair to the company to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm a new employee, but I need 2 weeks off right away." Like, that's
Right.
just not going to.
Well, if you're a good enough fit, they shouldn't care.
Oh yeah, that too. But I was like, yeah. Well,
What's
at
up?
least, yeah. Well, at
Well, it's
least for
happened
me,
plenty of times.
Well, at least for me, I wouldn't want to do that to them. Like, I wouldn't want to be like, "Oh yeah, I know I just started, but I need 2 weeks off. Thanks." Like,
Well, you just say, I mean, you're in the market for a new job, and this was planned a long time ago, so it's not.
true.
What was the owl about? Oh, so hiccuping is painful. Good to know. Remember that for the future.
What else? Oh, it's funny. I got to tell the story again of how I. Thank you for calling the.
Can tell a story of, and she's gone. Yay! So at least an interesting job, not a soul sucker. Ugh. Good luck. Ugh. Let me guess, no one's even calling you back, are they? Good God. Nope. I'm always shocked by like the high standards that some like a good chunk of jobs have. It's like, really? Seriously? You're gonna be that picky?
Yeah, my thing about that is like if I really needed to, I would be like, yeah, let me go back to retail. Let me go. I'm gonna, like knowing that like I could probably walk into, my first retail job company again and be like, yeah, I used to work here. Here's my experience since then, and they'd probably be like, okay, let's go. Um, it's like, yeah, like I'm sure that there are some, legitimate reasons for being picky, but if there's if you're just like, I don't want to do this, then it's like, well, do you want money to be able to buy food? You know, go there. I had one of those people where it was like confirming their address, and the city name I knew immediately. I was like, there's a good chance I'm going to mispronounce this, and I did. Because he was like, "Oh yeah, it's actually pronounced this way, but people get it wrong all the time. That's okay. People get it wrong all the time." And I'm sitting there going, "Then why the fuck did you tell me about the correct pronunciation? Because this is probably the only time I'm going to pronounce this city name. Like, it's the first time I've heard of it. Like, anyways." Now, there is one random city name that I know how to pronounce, but that's only because the podcast I listen to is based out of it, and they say it all the time. So that's how I know how to pronounce it. Otherwise, I would have butchered it 100%. Here, let me find it. Oh, oops. Cancel. So let me do this. So the one I mentioned where it was the caller was, let me post it, was that city. So you can kind of understand where I was like, yeah, I'm probably not gonna pronounce that right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pronounce that right. Yeah. Oh, there we go. I knew I was gonna spell this wrong. But it kind of came up anyways as like so this one is in Idaho. Let me post it real quick. Yeah, it's got an apostrophe in it. So a lot of the times they say CDA because it's a mouthful. But it's Coeur d'Alene. So it's like core, like the core of an apple.
Okay.
And so, yeah, it's like, that's the only reason I know how to pronounce that. It's because of a podcast.
Right.
Otherwise, it would have been like, her. No, this guy's gonna be fun to. Anyways. Don't remember his password. Forward. Ah. Okay. Oops. Let's hear my. Oh, come on. Thank you. Do 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 do. Ah, girl.
Me too.
Mhm. Yay!
Woo!
And there was
Woo!
much rejoicing. Yay!
I made myself.
Ah. Oh. Ah. Anyways.
Right?
But I also realize, like, the job I have now with the client I'm dedicated to
Right.
that I like and that I know, like, that I know this info, and this is like, oop, okay. Sorry, I got an update at work.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So it's like, this is like a really cushy position.
Right.
Like, so yeah, I'm like, so there's a part of me that's like, I need to kind of be looking, but also, like, I know that I don't need to, like, rush, if that makes sense.
Right. You're not in desperate need of a new job, but it's never wrong to keep your eyes open.
Yeah. Mm.
Probably not.
Yeah. I've had that happen a few times, like years ago, where it's like even when I was like doing like my some of my family members suggested, and having a Excel spreadsheet of who I applied to, and if they responded, they didn't respond. It was a very fucking sad spreadsheet. It's horrible. Yeah, and that was, I mean, and that was before my mom tried to find a new job with her years of banking experience, and nobody was responding to her either. And that's when she stopped riding my ass so much about getting a job.
Oh yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, because she was like, "Why? I don't understand why you can't find." And then she tried to find a job, and then she was like, "Oh." I'm like, "Yeah,
It's
not
so
so
much of
easy,
it
is it?"
is, yeah,
Sorry.
100% it's nepotism, like, or desperation in my case. Like, they didn't have anybody, so like, you're it. I'm like, all right. And then basically the guy taking over for the predecessor going, yeah, you're doing a good enough job. I'm not going to replace you.
By members, they literally gave you a phone number to call to help with that. Like, because it was like, "Oh, we no longer have a login to do a shop. Please go to there. And you can also contact the shop at phone number." And I'm like, and then they reply back like, "I can't." It's like, "I can't find the option on the website." They gave you the literal phone number. So I'm copying the email and basically deleting a good portion of it and being like, "For further assistance, please contact them at." And
Well, that was the thing. Just, she's like mid sentence, just, yeah, you wouldn't, because you're not paying attention. I can't lie, I'm playing idle games to keep my ADD at bay. I know. They made me, I can't do something. They made me remove something because you have to be a blue subscriber to have it. And I've had it for years. I'm just like, okay. Guess I'm not doing. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I was like, wow, okay. So weird. So weird. It's like, okay, I'll just close my account, whatever. Hang on, I gotta get something to drink. Maybe I'll try some of that new energy seltzer I got. I can get up without killing myself. Too many blankets. Yeah. I'm not going far, at least. No, it's not bad.
Alrighty. Oh yeah,
Give me
it's
1
funny.
second, Mish, sorry.
No worries. I saw you both get up out of the corner of my brain, corner of my eye. So I was like, So apparently,
Mm-hmm.
because I was going to join a Discord server that required you have your phone number. Well, I tried adding my phone number. It's like, no, this is associated with another Discord account. I'm like, I don't have one. So, like, all of the, um, things I saw said, do this, do that, do this, like create a new one and then create a new account with your phone number instead of your email and
Right.
then remove it. So I did do that and tried to remove it like several times and kept putting in, like, it would send a text message with the numbers and I put it in and it's like, and then it would keep like circling. And then I'm like, okay, I need to like send in like to Discord, like, hi, I'm trying to do this. And it's stuck. And nobody's gotten back to me. Like, they sent me an email, like, do you have a previous ticket for this? I'm like, no, I don't. And no response yet. I'm like, it's probably gonna take a while, but
Mm-hmm.
I keep meaning to want to create one of my own for like writing purposes. But I don't know what to call it.
Writing corner? I don't know.
Maybe.
You can change the name at any time. So, I mean, you just untitled Discord server to be titled later. It's just like you're writing.
Very, very nice, Miss Yo Cupcake.
Okay, can I tell you you're psychotic? Yes.
Oh, let me. I feel that. Like, someone that I support on Patreon tweeted that their ADHD is so strong that they have an emotional support ambiance video on YouTube for when they're writing scripts. And I'm like, I feel that because there's a few that I have that I put on when I'm writing.
Right.
And I'm like, if there's one that I'm like, oh, I feel like, I would like to write this or that. Like,
Right.
sometimes if I'm writing the Hobbit story that I have, I'll put on, like, I'll search for, like, LOTR ASMR or the Hobbit ASMR or something like that, and then pull it up and. So. How the fuck? Oh, I mean, I can kind of understand, but how the fuck? All it says is family raises 250-pound dog for 2 years, then realizes it's a bear.
Yeah.
I'm like, how? I understand, like, some dog breeds look like bears because
When
they
they're
were
young.
bred to take down bears. But I'm like, how the fuck? How do I so help it?
It's really funny. I've never seen a dog with claws that long.
Exactly. Like, I think there's a certain, like, Oh, I think it's the Tibetan Mastiff. Hold on, let me just
Yeah, no, probably Tibetan Mastiffs. They're huge.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like okay, so I don't know what dog I didn't read it, but I don't know what dog breed they were like thinking of, like what they thought they had.
Right.
But like if they thought they had let me bring this if they thought they had something like this fine gentleman right here, this fine doggo, like I can understand like if they thought they had a dog. Because that dog with the natural fur coat like that, yeah, you could kind of but I'm like bears are you like unless it's a specific type of bear, most like black and brown bears, like they're bigger than any dog I've ever seen in my life and not seen in my life. So what well the article title says family raised a 250-pound dog for 2 years and then realized it was a bear. Yeah, that's why I was like, I can see where some dog breeds it would be like easily mistaken, but like, what? Okay, let me find that again because I need to figure out. I need to know like what dog breed they thought they had. Okay. Oh, okay. So, oh, I called it.
What?
So they're in China, and it says name a person who lives in a village outside of the city of Kunming in Yunnan province. Bought what she was led to believe was a Tibetan Mastiff puppy. So they thought they had the dog of the picture I shared. And it was a bear. I was like,
That's what she said.
okay, I'm sorry. That's why I was like, that's a dog that I thought of that could be easily like mistaken for a bear. Like, but like even like a Tibetan Mastiff, like
Yeah, I mean, you would know within 6 months. I'm sorry. Like, they can say what they want, but you would know within 6 months.
yeah, like yeah, within 6 months, maybe a year if you're being especially dense. But I'm
Right.
like, yeah, at some point, as you're gonna know you don't have a fucking dog. Like that's not a dog.
Also
Like,
unrelated. I found this today. Let's see if I can turn it.
ooh, bubbly.
It's caffeinated sparkling water. Like, not an energy drink. It's just caffeinated sparkling water.
Ooh,
Not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad.
I've actually had bubbly that's not caffeinated before, and I like it as well.
Yeah. Hang on. Um, yeah, it's really good. I've got cherry, strawberry, blackberry, and pineapple currently in my refrigerator. I got this today because I needed more. I'm trying really hard to cut down on the amount of sweetener I drink, like just in general.
Yeah.
But I still want caffeine because I'm
Yeah.
insomniac. So here we are! Cupcake is here! Drinking caffeinated sparkling water because, I mean, if he's gonna run his teeth, he might as well just do it really dumbly. I like to state for the record that my dentist is not enthused with me drinking sparkling water. Like, the carbonic acid eats your teeth. I'm like, everything eats my teeth. There is no fun.
Ah. Oh yeah, I decided to get a new headset because the one I currently have um
Right.
it's right, and I can kind of see why, but like the part of the cord that's by like the mute button and the because the cord's got the mute button and then the volume button on it
Right.
is like curling because of how I use it and how it looks and stuff like that and how it's like
Right.
sitting. And now if it's just sitting there, it will go the left side will go in and out in terms of sound. Unless I'm like holding it a specific way and I'm like Like, I'll just be
Right,
sitting here,
right.
it'll be fine, and then I'll move around, and then it'll be like,
And that, my friends, is why I have that. Oh yeah, mind disconnect.
so I decided to get a.
Oh, she got a phone call. Meow. I don't know what you brought in, but he was all up in it, whatever it was, before you got back. Oh, okay. Right, right. Oh, that reminds me. Did you see the newest Tinker Tailor's solder fry? Yeah. Sorry. No, I turned it on this morning because I've been taking my sleeping medication, which means that I've been sleeping pretty regularly. But I woke up at 6 a.m. because that was like right about the time the shit was wearing off. And then it was like, I'm going to turn something on because it's my day off. I have nowhere to be. And then I was like, hey, it's 2 hours later. What the hell? It was good though. He is finishing one of the, I don't know if it's a Zaku, some sort of Gundam model. But I was more just like curious because it's pretty like it's just him like working on it for 2 hours, so it's not like anything like really exciting. But it was perfect for like I'm sitting here like I should get up and have a cup of coffee. And I started watching it, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh crap, it's like 8 a.m. and where did my day go? Then I kind of when I woke up and he was almost done, I went around like I skipped around to see if I was missing out on anything. And it's just him building it for 2 hours. So I was like, cool, whatever. We'll just write that one off as having been watched. I won't worry too much about. Oh, that's got to be good. Yeah, Sweet Summer Child. You have no idea. Right. Well, it's like going back and like when you were playing that like that I don't know, it was like a unicorn game or something, and it was just like it just kept getting weirder and weirder, and I'm going, oh my god, when does this train stop? I don't remember what the game is called. I just remember like the initial premise is like a unicorn. You're playing as a unicorn, and then like it just goes off the rails.
Oof.
You know what I'm talking? Pony Island, yes. Right. Oh, it was like you and I playing through um oh that the one where like everything is about perspective. It's a puzzle game. I always forget the name of it. Not Inception. Superliminal. It's the chess piece that like. I really wish they'd make a sequel to that because that game was awesome. One of these days we should do a co-op playthrough.
I think I have a new ambiance video
Oh,
to listen to. So I'm like,
oh
I
yeah.
like this. Thank you for calling the USGA. This is Julianne. How can I help you today?
There. Who didn't think that? Wait, what? Yeah. Right. No, he's going up on the bed apparently. Honestly, for a second, I thought it was gonna be like Ringo sticking his head through, just like, "Hey, what's going on?" Oh, there it is. Yeah. Right. Oh. Yeah, he's right. He's what, like 15? Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not a young dog. So. Oh yeah, no, I don't mean like. I just meant like it'd be like you or I being like 70 or 80, and it's like, you lost a good chunk of your teeth. Are you shocked? Right. I mean, our generation will be less of an issue, I think, just because of how where dental care is at. But like, I know I'm always weirded out, like people in my age group. Like, I'm one of the few people that has yet to lose like an adult tooth. I still have all my teeth. Like, how have you not lost a tooth? Like, I go to the dentist every 6 months. Right. I'm not saying you don't. I was just like people I work with are in the same age group as me. They're like, how have you not lost any teeth? I'm like, I go to the dentist. Like, we have dental. Like, our dental insurance is like $2 a month. Like, why would I not have dental insurance? I think it's
Rawr.
actually like $2 a week, but still, I mean, it's $8 a month. Who gives a shit? Work, work.
I know I exited several even ones that like I follow the comics. I'm like, I'm not active in these servers. Let me get out of them. Like,
Right.
it's like I'm like such a lurker that I'm like, I don't even know what's going on in these servers. That's how much of a lurker I am. Some of
Right.
them I'm like, I'm staying in here because I want the emojis because I have Discord Nitro.
Right.
But otherwise, I'm like, eh.
Wow. Hang on. I have my server, Sammy's server, um, Spaghetti's server, the Hal Forum server, um, like a couple streamer servers, and then all the Looking for Gamers servers, and then all the ones I'm in that are not active in, which is Chaz's server, Honk's server, I think that's Rise server, Jen's server. That one I don't. Oh, that's one of the guys from LFG. Brittle's server, and I think that's Wada's server. I'm
All right.
only active. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
So out of ones that are one just was created for like the mods of a separate server,
Right.
but of the ones that are not grouped together, there's 11 of them that are not grouped with other servers.
Fun.
Then there's another two that are related. 2, 3, 4 4 others that are related to people and servers that I'm in them with.
Right.
And then another one that's like that. And then another random one. Then someone from the Hiddleston server created a same server for fans of Sebastian Stan. So there's that one. I have several. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 for D&D folks that I follow on
Jesus.
TikTok or other places that I'm not really active in. One of the original ones as well, that was my friends, that was supposed to be for a Pathfinder campaign that never took off the ground. That was the reason why I joined Discord in the first place.
Right.
Then I have another group that's the Dune server, the Middle Earth server, and the Agents of Shield server.
Right.
Then I have one that's just for streamers that I follow, and then one that's sort of a streamer, but it's a YouTuber, so that's 7 of those. And then I have one of my favorite authors, one of the comics that I actually support on Patreon, and then another comic that I really, really like that's no longer updating, but that's still there. And that's another 3. So... And I had even more than that before I got rid of some of them.
Partridge in a pear tree.
Yes, exactly. Here's...
Yes. No. Maybe. I don't know. Ooh, kinky. Look, don't tell me how to live my life. I like the catchphrase. Go away. Look, it's that or rada rada. You make the choice. He's rada rada at work anytime I'm upset, so I don't have to swear. I'm just like, why are you saying that? I'm like, rada rada, rada 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 rada. They're like, use your words, Cupcake. I'm like, rada 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 rada. Cupcake,
like,
please,
look.
our children present. Rada rada rada. Cupcake, please.
It's like, look, if Cupcake uses his words right now, he will be fired. So I will not be using my words right now. Rada, 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 rada.
Right.
Walk off, rada, 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 rada.
Basically. Basically. Why don't you go eat something, for God's sake? I mean, like, what have you been doing all morning? God, Hey, it's not my fault you screwed up the first recording. Don't give me that. I mean, it's pretty par for the course. What's up? Oh, okay, here come the excuses. Let's go. I know. Yeah, you
You're
kids be
welcome.
good.
Me, you too. Toodles.